Hello and welcome to the Sheriff's Roundup for the second quarter of 2013. I'm Sheriff Bill Brown, coming to you from the Sunken Garden at the scenic and historic Santa Barbara County Courthouse. This site is just one of 25 across the county where men and women from your sheriff's office work. The Sheriff's Roundup, which is produced quarterly, is a wrap-up of just some of the events that the Sheriff's Office has been involved with over the past few months. On April 10th, Highway 101 at Patterson in both directions was shut down while sheriff's deputies apprehended a Goleta man who was armed with a knife and threatening to hurt law enforcement officers. 62-year-old Harley Brian Kelly was held at gunpoint but refused to surrender and instead crossed both the northbound and southbound lanes of the freeway with deputies trailing behind. Deputies ultimately deployed tasers and fired less lethal beanbag munitions in order to subdue and arrest Kelly. He was subsequently evaluated for mental illness. I want to express my appreciation to everyone involved in this incident for bringing it to a successful conclusion.
A bomb threat shut down a shopping complex and put a high school on lockdown for hours today.
On May 10th, San Marcos High School was placed on lockdown, and businesses in the Turnpike Shopping Center were closed for several hours due to a bomb threat. Sheriff's deputies who were assisting Washington State authorities in looking for an at-risk missing teenager located the juvenile in the Turnpike Shopping Center parking lot. While being taken in for questioning, the juvenile told a deputy that there were explosive devices in his car. The bomb squad responded and examined the contents of the vehicle. Several simulated devices and a modified airsoft gun were retrieved. The simulated devices were functional and could have been dangerous. The orange tip on the modified airsoft gun had been removed, making it look like a real gun. A resident in Goleta got quite a scare on June 9th when he came home to find two suspects wearing masks in the process of burglarizing his home. The burglars took off, and within 4 minutes, a deputy spotted them driving on Cathedral Oaks Road near Foothill School. Deputies conducted a high-risk traffic stop on the vehicle. 19-year-old Angel Sanchez and 19-year-old Felipe Camarillo, both of Santa Barbara, were arrested. The two were under investigation for their possible connection to other burglaries in the area. After a 4-month-long investigation, sheriff's detectives tracked down and arrested a suspect in Hemet, California. He turned out to be part of a Southern California computer theft ring that had gone on a crime spree. In January, this group of documented Riverside County gang members came through Santa Barbara County and targeted 2 elementary schools. On January 24th, they broke into the computer lab at Vieja Valley School and stole $10,000 worth of computer equipment. Just days later, on January 26th, and again on the 29th, they broke into the computer lab at Laguna Blanca School and stole $15,000 worth of computer equipment. The investigation involved several search warrants, and with the help of Hemet Police, Santa Barbara Sheriff's detectives arrested 26-year-old Andre Clayton in connection with the thefts. Public safety officials had their hands full handling the massive crowd that turned out for this year's Isla Vista spring break party known as Deltopia. Thousands of college students, many of them out-of-towners, packed Del Playa for a weekend of partying. This year, warm weather and social media brought about record attendance and a higher number of arrests and medical emergencies. The event has grown so large that public safety, county, and university officials are now strategizing how to prepare for it and how to make it safer next year. Another issue that the Isla Vista community has dealt with recently is the increased number of cell phone thefts known as apple picking. This has become an international crime trend. In the past several months, we have investigated 4 cases of cell phones being forcibly taken from victims, even in broad daylight. Thieves are stealing the expensive phones to resell or for identity theft purposes. We're encouraging the public to have a security lock on their smartphones and to always be aware of your surroundings when talking on your phone. In the event that your cell phone is stolen, call law enforcement immediately and notify your wireless carrier. Another issue we're seeing in Isla Vista is the increased use of a drug known as Molly. The drug, which is like ecstasy, comes in a powder form or in capsules. On March 20th, Sheriff's narcotics detectives investigated and arrested 19-year-old Joshua Steinhorn on drug-related charges. After conducting a search warrant at his Isla Vista apartment, they seized more than 4,500 doses of Molly with a street value of $45,000. Evidence revealed Steinhorn was packaging the Molly to sell within the Isla Vista community.
So I just need to ask you a few questions. If you can have a seat at the end with her.
Despite objections from the Santa Barbara County District Attorney, a sexually violent predator was released into Santa Barbara County as a transient on April 15th. 60-year-old Tibor Karsai was transported from Coalinga State Hospital to the Sheriff's Office Santa Maria substation, where he registered as a transient sex offender. Karsai was convicted of sexually assaulting a 19-year-old woman in 1975 and a 16-year-old girl in Auburn, California, shortly after he was paroled from prison in 1980. Karsai is now living in a motorhome in several remote locations in North Santa Barbara County and is under 24-hour supervision by guards contracted by the state. He's also monitored by a GPS tracking device. Santa Barbara County Sheriff's detectives helped track down and assisted Maryland authorities with arresting a felony fugitive wanted for forcibly molesting and raping his girlfriend's daughter, who was under the age of 14, at their home in Carpinteria. When 33-year-old Santos Guevara Oliva learned he was going to be brought in for questioning regarding the abuse on January the 23rd, he fled the area. After a 4-month-long investigation, sheriff's deputies learned he was hiding out in Maryland. He is the first suspect in Santa Barbara County history that faces a possible life in prison without parole sentence if convicted of aggravated child sexual assault. Ponga boats continue to be an issue in Santa Barbara County. Since March, 3 illegal smuggling boats have been discovered on our shoreline. On May 2nd, a ponga was found within a secluded cove on Coho Ranch, just below the Point Conception Lighthouse. Narcotics investigators seized 2,000 pounds of marijuana worth about $4 million at the base of a cliff near the abandoned boat. 19-year-old Jesus Garcia Guzman was arrested in connection with the ponga and was charged with drug trafficking. Also in May, an abandoned ponga was found on Arroyo Camada Beach. No marijuana was found this time, but packaging used for marijuana smuggling was discovered. On June 17th, a third ponga was found at Tejegas Beach, north of Refugio Beach, and in this case, no suspects or drugs were discovered. The Sheriff's Office continues to work closely with Homeland Security and our other federal law enforcement colleagues to address this increase in ponga boat activity. The Santa Barbara County Board of Supervisors approved the Sheriff's Office budget for fiscal year 2013-14, and for the first time in 7 years, it doesn't result in any cuts in personnel or services that are provided. This is great news after the difficult years our department has had struggling to maintain staffing and other resources. We thank everyone involved in the preparation of this budget and the teamwork that it took to achieve a status quo budget, and especially thank the CEO and the County Board of Supervisors for their continuing support. On Memorial Day weekend, during one of the busiest camping days of the year, in one of the most popular recreation areas in the Los Padres National Forest, a fire broke out at the White Day-Use Campground off Paradise Road. Sheriff's deputies, some who drove through thick smoke and were surrounded by flames, helped quickly and safely evacuate thousands of people. Their courage and commitment was commendable, and we thank them all. A great job as well by the U.S. Forest Service, by County Fire, and everyone involved in getting the White Fire contained. We also want to thank the Santa Barbara County Air Support Unit for its quick response, using Copter 3 for much-needed water drops, and the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Search and Rescue Team for being on scene and ready to help. It truly was a great team effort and shows once again how Santa Barbara County public safety agencies work exceptionally well together and are prepared to handle any eventuality. In April, our search and rescue team conducted specialized training to recertify for Project Lifesaver. The Sheriff's Office started participating in this nationwide program in 2008, and as Lieutenant Brad McVeigh shows us, Project Lifesaver is living up to its name.
The Sheriff's Department partners with the Alzheimer's Association. They've identified over 9,000 people just in the Santa Barbara County alone that are afflicted with some type of cognitive disorder. That could range from dementia of any type, Alzheimer's specifically, autism, Down syndrome, some folks with just a brain injury. Many of these people become at risk for wandering away or becoming lost and not being able to find their way home. So it's critical for us to find these people in the community and identify them, maybe get them on the program so that if the worst case scenario they do become missing or lost, we're able to find them and bring them home safely. We've had Project Lifesaver in the Sheriff's Department here for about 4 years. We currently have about 80 clients on the program, department volunteers that go out and visit with the clients once a month and change batteries in their transmitter device. And Search and Rescue has done an outstanding job of going out and searching if we actually have to have a search.
Thank you very much.
It's a transmitting device that's on all the time. It's sending the signal out 24 hours a day. So they don't have to turn it on, they don't have to do anything. It's always signaling. When we're told that we have a missing person and we need to go look for them, we take the Project Lifesaver equipment, we tune it to the special frequency of that person, and then we can hear their transmitter. So we'll put it on our car with antenna, drive around to the area that we expect that person to be in. We'll start picking up the signal, or we'll get the handheld unit out, which gives us a certain amount of direction and will point towards where that signal is coming from. One of the requirements to be a part of the Project Lifesaver program is you have to have trained, certified operators of the direction finding equipment. So we'll get the equipment out, send one of our team members out to get lost, and we go find that person.
The device itself is a radio transmitter, and our search and rescue teams are provided with directional antenna that can actually pinpoint the location of the device. This is important for us because many of these people are at risk, and if we have to go search for them, it's going to take an extensive amount of time and resources to search for them.
That direction.
So if we can locate them in a shorter amount of time, not only is it best for the individual, it's good for the department because we can get our resources back in place and back to other things that we should be doing.
All teams are located.
They found him? Okay.
One advantage to the Project Lifesaver program is that nationwide, it's been 100% successful. There have been over 2,600 searches in the nation since the program started in 1989. All of those people have been found alive and brought home safely.
It's a tremendous program that the sheriff is doing for the community. And it's important to recognize that search and rescue is a very key part once they're lost. But Brad McVeigh and his volunteers that deal with the people individually is also very key to it. It's a very inexpensive program for the department. It could easily save somebody's life.
For anyone that's interested in putting a family member on the Project Lifesaver program, I suggest they go to our website at sbsheriff.org. If you scroll down the right-hand side, you'll see a link for Project Lifesaver, and it'll tell you in detail about the program. It also has an enrollment package that you can fill out in advance if you'd like to place someone on the program.
Thanks, Lieutenant McVeigh, and to our search and rescue team for keeping this important program going. Lieutenant Brad McVeigh was also instrumental in getting the word out about Distracted Driver Awareness Month in April. The Sheriff's Office teamed up with the California Highway Patrol, Lompoc Police Department, and other local law enforcement agencies to crack down on the number of drivers texting and using their cell phones during the month of April. A press conference was held at the Avenue of the Flags in Buellton to kick off Distracted Driver Awareness Month. Law enforcement officials, as well as Santa Barbara County District Attorney Joyce Dudley and Eileen Ackerblom of Santa Maria, whose son Eric was killed by a distracted driver in 2009, came out to help raise awareness about the devastation that inattentive drivers can cause. One of the most prestigious honors you can receive in Santa Barbara County law enforcement is to take home an H. Thomas Geary Award. For the past 44 years, the Santa Barbara Citizens Council on Crime has recognized a select few number of peace officers for their outstanding work. This year, the Sheriff's Office had 2 such honorees. On May 22nd, at the Board of Supervisors hearing room, in front of their peers, family, and friends, and the heads of local law enforcement agencies, Senior Deputy Christopher Gottschall received the H. Thomas Geary Award for Valor, and Lieutenant Bob Mott received an award for superior service. Congratulations to Senior Deputy Gottschall and Lieutenant Mott on your awards. Thank you for making all of us proud and for going above and beyond to serve your community. Good luck also to Lieutenant Bob Mott, who recently retired, and we thank you for your 28 years of dedicated service to the Sheriff's Office. Congratulations are also in order for Sergeant Sandra Brown of the Coroner's Unit, who was honored with a Public Official of the Year award from the Central Coast Commission for Senior Citizens for her work with the Elder Death Review Team, and to Sergeant Kevin Huddle for receiving a Mothers Against Drunk Drivers Hero of the Year award for his work with helping to keep drivers under the influence of alcohol and drugs off our roads and highways. After 800 hours of mental, physical, and academic training, 5 Sheriff's Deputy trainees were left standing after the recent completion of the Allen Hancock College Police Academy. Danny Skull, Ricky Hines, Tim Ford, James Karowski, and Jordan Walker were all sworn in as Sheriff's Deputies and given their badges at a special ceremony held just before the Police Academy graduation. We congratulate them all and wish them a rewarding career here at the Sheriff's Office. The Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program, better known as DARE, had another successful year as hundreds of elementary and middle school students were instructed on how to avoid negative influences like drugs, gangs, and violence. Instead, they were taught how to make their own good decisions. After 11 weeks of taking classes that included writing a personal essay, special graduation ceremonies were held this past spring at each of the 8 Santa Ynez Valley schools that participated. Retired Sheriff's Deputy Leslie Avila once again took on the role of DARE instructor.
It's my passion, and I get to do every day what I love. And I go into the classrooms every day, see the kids, all of them, as many as I can fit in. I'm so thrilled and blessed that the Sheriff's Department allows me to do this.
The DARE program wouldn't exist today were it not for the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Benevolent Posse, an organization that raises money for DARE and other agency needs that just can't be funded by the regular county budget. For more information about the Sheriff's Benevolent Posse and how it assists the DARE program, please go to the Sheriff's Benevolent Posse website at sbsheriffsposse.com. Speaking of graduates, after 8 weeks of adventures and behind-the-scenes, hands-on experience with the Sheriff's Office, 21 residents graduated from the South Coast Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Citizens Academy. This course is a unique opportunity that gives citizens an up-close look at just some of what the Sheriff's Office does on a daily basis to keep its citizens safe.
The Sheriff's Department offers a Citizens Academy that gives the opportunity for people in the public, in the community, to come out and experience what being a Sheriff's Deputy and being somebody that works with the Sheriff's Department has to offer. And it gives you, the citizen, a better understanding of what we do and why we do what we do, and to introduce you to all different facets of the department and different areas of responsibility that we have throughout the county.
It's been such a learning experience that I'll never forget. It's been so enlightening.
It's an eye-opening experience for the average person to be able to come out and see what we do. There's a lot of aha moments.
Get out! Get out! Get out!
There's the SWAT team, which is just very interesting. Canines, the air support, detectives, bomb squads, shooting guns. It's been a really informative and valuable experience for me, again, to learn available resources and meet a lot of good people.
I think it's a good program. It's very eye-opening, and it builds a relationship that they now feel a sort of connection to the department, and many of them say, hey, we're going to be your friends in the future. We go out and talk you up, and when people say something bad, we're going to be there to say, no, that's not the case. These guys are real people that are just doing a job.
I think that it's a great learning opportunity and experience for anybody in the community to come out and see what the Sheriff's Department's all about and how we function and how we operate in the community and in the Santa Barbara County in general.
I could not have imagined having a better experience, and these guys, the Sheriff's Office, and everyone that we were dealing with was just the best at presenting what they had to offer. It's a tremendous amount of knowledge that I've gained from it, and I'm just going to continue to build on it.
It's kind of cool to see the people that the progression they go through, from the way they think we do things when they get there to how it ends for them, the 8 weeks later when you see the change in their perspective on what we do.
Thanks to Senior Deputy Greg Sorensen and Detective Matt Banks for coordinating this year's Citizens Academy. This free course is offered once a year in the South County, and there's also one offered in the North County as well. You can visit our website at sbsheriff.org for more information. Thanks also to Senior Deputy Sorensen for bringing what has been a successful event in the city of Carpinteria to Goleta. In May, at the Starbucks in the El Camino Real Marketplace, deputies, residents, and city leaders gathered for the first ever Coffee with a Cop in Goleta. There's no agenda, just coffee and conversation, which is what Sergeant Chris Cognac of the Hawthorne Police Department had in mind when his agency was the first to start the event 4 years ago.
And that's the beauty of Coffee with a Cop. There is no agenda at all. And you just come in and we're here and we'll talk to you. Have some coffee.
Thank you, Senior Deputy Sorensen, for coordinating the Coffee with a Cop events in Goleta, and to Detective Matt Banks for doing the same in Carpinteria. A huge thanks also to Lieutenant Kelly Moore for suggesting bringing this community outreach program to the Sheriff's Office. Sign up for Nixle or like us on Facebook to stay posted on upcoming Coffee with a Cop events. If it wasn't over coffee, another great place to interact casually with a deputy this last quarter was at one of the many Tip-a-Cop lunches or dinners held at several local restaurants. The District Attorney's Office co-hosted an event at Petrini's in Goleta. Employees from both departments threw aprons on and waited tables to earn tips for Special Olympics. In South County alone, about $11,000 was raised at Tip-a-Cop events for the Special Olympics. And if you need to see the benefit of where this money is going to, look no further than the Special Olympics Southern California Region School Games competition. More than 200 local special needs athletes, including elementary and secondary students from 23 schools representing 5 South County districts, competed in several events. Similar games were held in the North County as well. Lieutenant Butch Arnaldi, who has been involved with Special Olympic events for the Sheriff's Office for more than 20 years, handed out medals to the winners. The smile on his face says it all. Lieutenant Arnaldi also coordinated the Sheriff's Office participation in the Special Olympics torch run. In all, more than 18 law enforcement agencies participated in transporting the torch for 100 miles.
Today, we embrace this challenge as a group. We are inspired by you, and we're there for you the way you're there for us.
About 12 Sheriff's Office employees participated in the run. And special thanks is due to our systems engineer, Dean Miller, for running with the torch for more than 11 miles.
How's it going, Dean?
Good. Feeling good.
We're going to wrap up the roundup with a story about some deputies who got a break from some of the more serious calls they usually deal with to take care of something a little different. A mother duck was escorting her many ducklings across a busy street in Goleta. The hot asphalt became too much for the ducks, and they ran underneath a car parked at a light on Hollister Avenue. With traffic backed up, Sergeant Brian Thielst and Deputy Desiree Tomei grabbed a shoebox from a nearby hotel, shooed the ducks inside the box, and transported them to Lake Los Carneros and set them free. It was a rare sight to see ducks getting out of a patrol car, and it was a call the deputies are sure to remember. They now understand that this job really is all it's quacked up to be. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Sheriff's Roundup. Thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting us as we protect your safety.